How many Lego heads would it take to fill a soda can? Because when life gives you carbonated sugar water, the only logical thing to do is replace it with a pile of tiny, smiling faces. Let's start with the can. A standard soda can holds 355 milliliters of liquid, which equals 355 cubic centimeters of space. Now for the Lego head. Each one measures 10.11 millimeters wide and 12.95 millimeters tall, giving a volume of about 1,036 cubic millimeters or 1.036 cubic centimeters. But Lego heads aren't stackable in a perfect grid. There are gaps between them because of their round shape and the hollow inside. So we'll use a packing efficiency of 60%, meaning each head effectively takes up 1.727 cubic centimeters of space. Now divide the soda can's total volume by the effective space per head. 355 divided by 1.727 equals 205.6. That means you'd need 206 Lego heads to fill a standard soda can. Each Lego head weighs about 0.55 grams, so that's 113 grams total, roughly the same as a small apple, but significantly less nutritious. If you used one of those tall energy drink cans, 473 milliliters, you'd need about 274 Lego heads. And if you went for a monster-sized 710 milliliters can, that'd be 411 heads, a true caffeine overdose in Lego form. So there you have it. To fill a regular soda can, you'd need exactly 206 Lego heads, and if you actually tried drinking that, you'd be seeing Lego studs instead of stars. How many Lego heads would it take to fill a blender? Because nothing says, "I've lost control of my life," like making a smoothie entirely out of yellow plastic faces. Let's start with the blender. A standard countertop blender jar holds about 1.5 liters, which equals 1,500 cubic centimeters of space. Now for the Lego head. Each one measures 10.11 millimeters wide and 12.95 millimeters tall, giving it a volume of about 1,036 cubic millimeters, or 1.036 cubic centimeters. But Lego heads aren't perfect cubes. They're round, hollow, and leave gaps when stacked. We'll assume a packing efficiency of 60%, meaning each Lego head effectively occupies 1.727 cubic centimeters of space. Now divide the blender's total volume by the effective space per head, 1,500, divided by 1.727 equals 868.7. That means you need 869 Lego heads to fill a standard blender jar. Each Lego head weighs 0.55 grams, so that's 478 grams, or 0.48 kilograms, approximately 1.05 pounds of Lego heads total. And if you turn the blender on, you'd get the world's least drinkable smoothie, an unholy mixture of ABS, plastic, and regret. So there you have it. To fill a blender, you need exactly 869 Lego heads. How many Lego heads would it take to fill a fishbowl? Because sometimes you look at a perfectly good home for goldfish and think, yeah, but what if it was just smiling yellow faces instead? Let's start with the fishbowl, a classic round fishbowl, the kind you win at a carnival and immediately feel guilty about, holds about 1 gallon of water, which equals 3.785 liters, or 3,785 cubic centimeters of space. Now for the Lego head. Each one is 10.11 millimeters wide and 12.95 millimeters tall, with a cylindrical volume of about 1,036 cubic millimeters, or 1.036 cubic centimeters. But since Lego heads don't stack like bricks, and their round shape leaves gaps, we'll assume a packing efficiency of 60%, meaning each head effectively occupies 1.727 cubic centimeters of space. Now divide the fishbowl's total volume by the effective space per head. 3,785 divided by 1.727 equals 2,191.3. That means you'd need 2,191 Lego heads to fill a standard 1-gallon fishbowl. How many Lego heads would it take to weigh as much as a tarantula? Because when you think of 8-legged nightmares covered in hair, your brain immediately wonders how many smiling yellow faces it would take to even the scales. Let's start with the spider. A typical adult tarantula weighs around 85 grams. That's about as heavy as a small apple, or roughly the amount of dread you feel when one crawls out from under your couch. Now, the Lego head. Each Lego head weighs about 0.55 grams. That's it. barely anything. You could hold an entire handful and it would still feel lighter than your confidence after stepping on one bare foot. So, if we take the tarantula's weight and divide it by the Lego head's weight, 85 divided by 0.55 equals 154.5454. That means it would take exactly 155 Lego heads to match the weight of one tarantula. But not all tarantulas are built the same. Some species, like the Goliath bird eater, are massive, weighing closer to 170 grams. And for one of those big boys, you'd need 170 divided by 0.55 equals 309 Lego heads. So depending on your spider of choice, you're looking at anywhere between 155 and 309 Lego heads to perfectly balance the scales. To put that in perspective, if you had 100 tarantulas, which is far too many tarantulas, you'd need around 15,500 Lego heads to weigh the same. That's enough to fill an entire small suitcase with nothing but tiny plastic faces, all smiling in silent judgment. So there you have it. To weigh as much as one average tarantula, you'd need exactly 155 Lego heads. One is a venomous nightmare covered in fur. The other is a lifeless hunk of ABS plastic. And somehow, they're both equally terrifying in their own ways. How many Lego heads would it take to fill a coffin? Because nothing says rest in pieces, quite like being surrounded by millions of tiny smiling yellow faces for all eternity. Let's start with the coffin. A standard adult coffin measures about 84 inches long, 28 inches wide, and 23 inches deep. That's 213.36 centimeters by 71.12 centimeters by 58.42 centimeters, which gives a total interior volume of 887,817 cubic centimeters, or roughly 880 liters of space. Now for the Lego head. Each one is 10.11 millimeters wide and 12.95 millimeters tall, with a cylindrical volume of about 1,036 cubic millimeters, or 1.036 cubic centimeters. But Lego heads don't stack perfectly. They're round and hollow, which leaves air gaps. So we'll use a packing efficiency of 60%, meaning each Lego head effectively takes up 1.727 cubic centimeters of space when packed together. Now divide the coffin's total volume by the effective space per head. 887,817 divided by 1.727 equals 513,984.8. That means you'd need about 513,985 Lego heads to completely fill an average coffin. Each head weighs 0.55 grams, so the total weight would be 513,985 times 0.55 equals 282,691.75 grams, or 282.7 kilograms, 623 pounds of Lego heads. So there you have it. To fill a standard coffin, you need exactly 513,985 Lego heads. 500,000 little faces grinning up at you forever. Some people rest in peace, others rest in plastic. How many Lego heads would it take to weigh as much as a human skeleton? Because if your Halloween decorations don't come with math, are you even doing it right? Let's start with the skeleton. An average adult human skeleton weighs about 14 kilograms, or 14,000 grams. That's just the bones. No muscles, no organs, no regrets. Now for the Lego head. Each one weighs 0.55 grams, tiny, hollow, yellow, and smiling, like the world's least threatening skull. Now divide the skeleton's total weight by the weight of one Lego head. 14,000 divided by 0.55 equals 25,454.5454. That means it would take 25,455 Lego heads to weigh as much as one human skeleton. But not all skeletons are built the same. A smaller adult skeleton might weigh closer to 10 kilograms, which would mean 10,000 divided by 0.55 equals 18,182 Lego heads. And a taller, heavier one might hit 17 kilograms or 30,909 heads. So depending on your bone density and your calcium intake, you're looking at somewhere between 18,000 and 31,000 Lego heads to balance the scales. Each Lego head has a diameter of 10.11 millimeters, which means stacking them all would look like a horrifying plastic tower of smiling skulls over 400 meters tall if you line them end to end. So congratulations! You've just invented the world's most terrifying Jenga tower. So there you have it. To weigh as much as an average adult skeleton, you'd need exactly 25,455 Lego heads. One is made of calcium, one is made of ABS plastic. Both are extremely creepy if found in your basement. How many Lego heads would it take to weigh as much as a bar of soap? Because nothing says self-care like turning your shower thoughts into physics problems. Let's start with the soap. A standard bar of soap weighs about 36.85 grams. Not one of those giant novelty bars, not hotel-sized, just a nice, normal, middle-of-the-road bar that's still easy to drop. Now for the Lego head. Each one weighs 0.55 grams, which means it's light enough to blow away, but heavy enough to destroy your vacuum cleaner when you forget to pick it up. So to find out how many Lego heads equal one bar of soap, divide the soap's weight by the Lego head's weight. 36.85 divided by 0.55 equals 67 exactly. That means you'd need 67 Lego heads to weigh the same as a single, regular-sized bar of soap. If you stacked all 67 of those heads on top of each other, you'd have a bright yellow tower about 87 centimeters tall, nearly 3 feet of pure smiling judgment. And if you actually tried to wash with them, it'd be less clean and fresh and more bruised and confused. Lego heads don't dissolve, don't lather, and absolutely don't smell like citrus meadow. But hey, they definitely exfoliate. So there you have it. To weigh as much as a single bar of soap, you'd need 6-7 Lego heads. One leaves you squeaky clean. The other just squeaks. How many Lego heads would it take to weigh as much as a Nintendo Switch 2? Because obviously when you think next-gen gaming hardware, you think, let's compare it to tiny smiling plastic heads. Let's start with the console's weight. The Switch 2 weighs approximately 534 grams with the Joy-Con controllers attached. Now for the Lego head. Each Lego head weighs about 0.55 grams. So to find out how many Lego heads equal the weight of the Switch 2, divide 534 divided by 0.55 equals 970.9090. Round up, because you can't have part of a head in this scenario, and you'd need 971 Lego heads to weigh as much as one Nintendo Switch 2. To put it in perspective, that's nearly 1,000 tiny yellow domes all piled up. Since each head is only 10.11 millimeters wide and about 12.95 millimeters tall, stacking 971 of them end to end would give you a tower approximately 12.6 meters tall, 40 plus feet if you laid them on their sides. In terms of total weight, 971 times 0.55 grams equals approximately 534 grams, which is the console's weight. If you actually tried replacing your console with a pile of heads, well, you'd have no games, no HDMI dock, but you'd have 971 grinning plastic zits. So there you have it. To match the weight of a Switch 2, you'd need exactly 971 Lego heads. One is your path to Mario Kart and Zelda. The other is your path to stepping on tiny plastic nightmares at midnight. How many Lego heads would it take to fill a pair of shoes? Because when you're putting on your sneakers in the morning, you should absolutely be wondering, what if these were full of smiling yellow plastic faces instead of feet? Let's start with the shoes. A standard adult pair of sneakers, nothing crazy, just your everyday size, 10 running shoes, has a total interior volume of about 3 liters per shoe. That's 6 liters total, or 6,000 milliliters of space for both shoes. Now, the Lego head. Each Lego head has a diameter of 10.11 millimeters and a height of 12.95 millimeters, giving it a cylindrical volume of about 1,036 cubic millimeters, or 1.036 cubic centimeters. That's 1.036 milliliters of total plastic per head. But Lego heads don't fit perfectly. They're round, they roll, and there's airspace between them, which means we need a packing efficiency correction. Let's use 60% efficiency, so each head effectively occupies 1.036 divided by 0.6 equals 1.726 milliliters of space. Now divide the total shoe space by the space per Lego head. 6,000 divided by 1.726 equals 3,476.9 Lego heads. That means it would take 3,477 Lego heads to fill a pair of shoes. How many Lego heads would it take to weigh as much as a loaf of bread? Because nothing pairs better with carbs than math and mild existential confusion. Let's start with the bread. A standard loaf of store-bought sandwich bread weighs about 450 grams. That's roughly 1 pound. So this isn't some artisan sourdough boulder. We're talking your average, pre-sliced, lives in a plastic bag kind of loaf. Now for the Lego head. Each Lego head weighs 0.55 grams. That's barely anything. You'd need a whole jar of them before they even register on a kitchen scale. So, divide the loaf's weight by the Lego head's weight. 450 divided by 0.55 equals 818.18. That means you'd need 818 Lego heads to weigh the same as a loaf of bread. If you line them up end to end, the 10.11 millimeter width of each head would make a smiling yellow line over 8 meters long, or roughly the length of a bus filled with people questioning your life choices, and the total volume. Each head has about 1.036 cubic centimeters, so the whole loaf's worth would take up roughly 847 cubic centimeters, or just under 1 liter of space. So, a loaf made entirely of Lego heads would actually fit inside your bread box, assuming your bread box also accepts the concept of nightmares. Now, would you want to eat Lego bread? Absolutely not. No butter, no toast, just dental regret and a guaranteed trip to the emergency room. So there you have it. To weigh as much as a single loaf of bread, you'd need 818 Lego heads. One fills your stomach, the other fills your vacuum cleaner. How many Lego heads would it take to fill a porta potty? Because nothing says I've gone too far with math, like replacing the worst smell on earth with thousands of tiny plastic smiles. First, the porta potty. A standard portable toilet has an interior space of about 1.1 meters wide, 1.2 meters deep, and 2.3 meters tall. Multiply those dimensions and you get about 3.036 cubic meters of interior volume. Convert that to cubic centimeters. 3.036 times 1 million equals 3,036,000 cubic centimeters. Now for the Lego head. Each one is 10.11 millimeters wide and 12.95 millimeters tall, with a cylindrical volume of about 1,036 cubic millimeters, or 1.036 cubic centimeters. But Lego heads don't pack together perfectly, so we'll assume 60% packing efficiency, meaning each head effectively takes up 1.727 cubic centimeters of space. Now divide the total porta potty volume by the effective Lego head volume. 3,036,000 divided by 1.727 equals 1,757,666.7. Round up, and you'd need 1,757,667 Lego heads to fill a standard porta potty. At 0.55 grams per head, that's 966,716 grams, or about 967 kilograms, 2,132 pounds, of Lego heads. That's roughly the weight of a small car, meaning your portable toilet would definitely collapse under the pressure, but at least it would go out in style. So there you have it. To fill a porta potty, you'd need exactly 1,757,667 Lego heads. How many Lego heads would it take to fill a baseball cap? Because when you think about America's favorite pastime, you obviously think about tiny, smiling yellow faces instead of baseballs. Let's start with the hat, a standard adult baseball cap. The kind you grab at a game or wear backward to look cool but end up sunburned anyway, has a total interior volume of about 2 liters or 2,000 milliliters of space. Now for the Lego head. Each Lego head has a diameter of 10.11 millimeters and a height of 12.95 millimeters, giving it a cylindrical volume of roughly 1,036 cubic millimeters, or 1.036 cubic centimeters, 1.036 milliliters per head. But Lego heads don't pack together perfectly. There's airspace between them because they're round and slightly hollow. So we'll use a packing efficiency of 60%, meaning each Lego head effectively occupies 1.036 divided by 0.6 equals 1.726 milliliters of space. Now divide the total hat volume by the effective space per Lego head. 2,000 divided by 1.726 equals 1,158.9 Lego heads. That means it would take 1,159 Lego heads to fill a standard baseball cap. Each head weighs 0.55 grams, so the total weight would be 1,159 times 0.55 equals 637.45 grams, or about 0.64 kilograms, 1.4 pounds. So if you put that on your head, congratulations, you've just invented the world's heaviest, most painful hat. And as a bonus, if you actually tried to wear it, those little heads would shift and rattle around like a plastic maraca strapped to your skull. You'd look cool for about 2 seconds, then concussed for the rest of the day. So there you have it. To fill an average baseball cap, you'd need 1,159 Lego heads weighing about 1.4 pounds, a perfect combination of childhood nostalgia and neck pain. One's for catching baseballs, the other's for catching judgment. Subscribe for more and drop your wildest ideas in the comments. I'll do the math for you.